All right, let's see. Let's see. What is up, chat? What is good?
Want this series to go.
All right, we're gonna watch some search today, chat. What's good, Blixie, Yixie, and Blixie in the chat together? What is up, boys?
Way of things have played out throughout the league since this year started. The LA Thieves.
I'm gonna do some search today. Just S&D only. S&D only VOD session.
Been the purveyor to try to bounce back, but a very small, tight-knit, close quarters map. Vancouver Surge have looked.
How's it going, guys? Good morning. Good morning.
Both of their SMG players
Probably a little shorter stream than usual. I'll probably have to be out of here in a little just less than 2 hours. Is your place close to the office? It's like 25-30 minutes away. Yeah, we have scrims today. I'm just gonna stream right before.
This is only winners round one, so what you don't want for the rest of the tournament is the Vancouver Surge flying through the lower bracket. That is seriously going to hurt. And again, down there, a couple of teams still with champs on their mind. I think you do want Vancouver till more ourselves in the CDL for dealership.
Hey, oh, I gotta bring up Epic Pen real quick.
Quite literally, folks. Scrap the little animal here on Search and Destroy. 1.26 overall, just shy of halfway winning all of his opening duels, but that's not going to slow him down whatsoever.
Alright, we're good.
A little bit of chatter about Scrap, about how he doesn't get enough gas.
What's good, Clem? Full-time streamer. When we're not scrimming, I've been grinding this last week or two.
Doesn't get the gas because everybody in the league just accepts.
What's good, Erod?
Absolutely that good. In about 2 we fly, and a booster's going to make his way over towards the A-bomb site where he
Yeah, I kind of just want to get ideas search. Just I haven't fully watched all of the matches from or all the searches from LAN, so I figured for the major four stuff we'll watch this back.
we know is the lethal threat over towards A. For
Might as well do it on stream with you guys.
massive tool Surge no longer have, and now they're reading the setup. They've cleared out the B site. You got Scrap rotating over to cover mid, and they know the only thing open is A. Vancouver Surge, that's exactly where they are.
Oh, I'm actually also streaming YouTube as well. I'm pretty sure I kept that on. So if you guys are on YouTube, what is up?
That's the problem. You do not look both ways. Nasty slide. Nobody get a second though. Thieves start fast.
Starting here with the dealership search.
And again, mentioned
This was obviously when LET beat us on in what's called
over towards A on the
loser semis,
offensive end.
but they did play it against Seattle right before as well. Or sorry, Vancouver. I keep saying that. Seattle, Vancouver. You guys get the idea.
Over to the action on the flip side. Envoy shuts it down over towards B. Everybody for LA Thieves right now delivering.
Yeah, it feels like the Thieves' individual fights, there's not a huge amount of contest in them. It's more like catching these members of Surge unaware on the rotation or out of the threshold, maybe from a bad angle. If they slow their game down a tiny bit, they might be able to catch up, but
Wait, let me make sure. Is the minimap good? Ooh, it is not good.
so far, so good for the LA.
Quick raid by LAT, mid counter from the Vancouver side. They don't see anything B side. Two guys mid. This guy Heaven is gonna try and push out the vent. Paco tries to push it out from the offensive side. They get the pick. They do get one towards junk side though.
Pop checks there, enough to pass the intel for Scrap to find the kill on the nasty. The trade's now flying over.
Just trade city, but again, car control for LAT makes it a lot easier for the post plant. JP, would you like the idea of COD coaches being integrated and used like they do in Halo with the coach on stage speaking to them during the games? I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I think there is a skill gap to making those decisions as a player, but I would at least like something like timeouts and search and maybe control as well. Didn't get a notification on Twitch, but got one on YouTube? Weird.
The Vancouver Surge players, because again, had a tough run of this matchup so far, unable to find any.
But yeah, every time I'm streaming on YouTube, I'm also streaming on Twitch, basically.
over towards A we go. Not a huge amount of force.
All right, quick A by Vancouver here. Kind of a similar thing, but by LAT, but they do send one guy B, and that's Envoy. As soon as he sees nothing B, though, he is gonna full retake. Paco's vent here. He's gonna try and sneak a kill. 6 pick up the pinch. There's actually no one pinching, but Paco gets one and gets away with his life. Trades go down car side. 3v2. Paco goes through the vent. Now he's gonna flank very, very quickly. They're not gonna be able to pick it up. LAT up to 3-0. Isn't this like ends up being like a 6-0 or 6-1? I think this is a quick one. I don't remember how quick it is, but I remember they do get smoked by LAT, like in every map that they play in this series.
And a moment for Hydra in the vent where you feel like if you're Vancouver, you have to trade him out. There was no hope of it. Ghosty had him covered. Got the kill on 04 over by the vehicles, and I mean, this is everything going right.
You pulled all the attention as well, so no one is even there. You lost a man in the initial.
But in terms of like the coaches on stage thing, again, I wouldn't have to worry about it because it would most likely be Damon in that sense anyways. But I don't know. I've always thought that there is a skill gap, at least in COD, to the decision-making stuff, and that's like one of the bigger skill gaps for it. So having an extra communicator, I feel like reduces that just a little bit, which isn't great, but I also think it would be cool in a sense. So I don't care regardless, but I would like some type of timeout feature in like search or control. I think that would be important. Scrim today? Yeah, we're scrimming today. So I'm going to be streaming chat for probably like an hour and a half more. Not such a long stream, but figured I tune on or turn on the stream before I headed off to the office. Still on the new patch? Yeah. Again, we're playing on this new patch, chat. Well, we're gonna be playing. So right now, here I'll pause this. Right now, the patch that we're playing on, because we have to play on our mains, is the current patch. And that's what season 4. But what we're going to be playing on, once the CDL accounts get updated, is patch 3.5, which is the one right before season 4, which just came out this past week. So this is what we'll be playing on, 3.5. So that's new control spawns. Obviously new Jackal as well. But it doesn't have the GPR buff, and it doesn't have the what people are saying, the new control spawns, or sometimes, I don't know if you guys saw what Haggy tweeted, but you can basically kind of spawn inside you on vault defense and spawn like pretty close. What are we scrimming? Confidential information, federal question, unfortunately.
And devastating is this map in this series right now.
I saw some S&D screens were broken, is why I asked. What do you mean S&D screens? If you're talking about what happened in the Challengers thing yesterday, that shit was crazy. I don't know if they were on this. They must have been on CDL S&D, right? Actually, I gotta ask Prosper. Is Prosper in here? Sometimes he's in here. I'm gonna message him. I gotta see if they were just in regular search and that happened, or if that was CDL search. If that's CDL search, that's an issue. Let me DM him real quick, because I'm pretty sure he was the one observing. Were you guys on CDL S&D or regular S&D yesterday for that? Because if that bug is in CDL S&D, that shit's crazy, chat. Because think about it this way. Here, wait. Let me bring up the clip real quick. I'll bring you guys up the clip of what happened if you guys haven't seen it already. I think there was a clip on Reddit. I saw a clip on Reddit. Here.
1v4.
So the first kill that happens in this round is a kill on Trakes, but it says he's 0-0 on the scoreboard, and this guy's last alive, Glow Frosty, but it still says 2-4. So look at what happens in this round. They kill Glow Frosty, but it still says 1 live is remaining. So it's completely fucked because now they've killed everyone, but it still says 1 lives are remaining, and the game doesn't detect that like everyone died for that team. So since the game's not detecting that everyone died, the game just keeps going. So like, what happens if the team that ended up getting these kills, like what if white team was on offense here? And what if the time was so close that they won the round, but because it didn't detect that they won, they technically had to get the bomb and plant it and have that shit like actually explode for them to win. You know what I mean? So what if there wasn't a chance for them to actually plant the bomb? They would have literally lost the round because of it. You see what I'm saying? Like how bad that actually could be. So I don't know what that was. I'm hoping it was just they were on regular search and it only happens there. But it's a really bad, really bad bug. Because what happens then? Because it's like technically they won the round, but the game is not detecting they won the round. And we know what happens when the game doesn't detect you won the round. If you guys remember Seaside Control BO4, FaZe technically won the control round, but it said on the screen that the other team did, Luminosity. So they gave the round to Luminosity. It says CDL search here. Yeah, I that's what I assumed. I assumed it says CDL search, that means they're on CDL search. So that's why I was kind of bugging. I feel like it would only say regular search, right? If it wasn't CDL. So yeah, I don't know what is going on with that. This is a thing on CDL search mode if you change teams during countdown. Really? So what you're saying is like Trakes changed team during countdown and it fucked up because it assumed that he was on this team or something? It's been like a thing like this for us for like a few months. Interesting. I didn't know that. That's good info. Really good info.
Jay, not confusing.
Yeah, so I'm assuming because he's the one that they're not detecting that he Prosper just messaged me. Yeah, he says, I think the issue was Drake spawned in on the wrong team and then changed teams in game. Previously, he wouldn't have spawned in at all. Okay, that's what it makes sense. That makes sense. So, okay, great. That's at least we know the problem. At least we know the problem. So good shit, Sitrek. Thank you for letting me know that. And Prosper also messaged me the same thing. So it is confirmed.
I don't know.
It is a weird bug, dude. I was tweaking in the middle of it. I was like, how the fuck does this happen?
Welcome to online COD.
But at least we know you can't change team during the countdown, like after the game has started, basically. So good info, really good info.
Securing the very first
but look how trolly it looks. Like the game just keeps going on. Since their defense, they were gonna regardless, but it was just funny.
As good as it could possibly get right now for the LA Thieves, folks. They certainly had a good sleep last night. They've woken up on the right side of the bed. Vancouver Surge, we might see their tournament start in losers round 1.
I mean, yeah, by the looks of it, this is not remotely close. This is just testing LA Thieves' ability to play perfect Call of Duty. And honestly, even on the skyline, so far so good. It's pretty perfect.
All right, quick A bang out for both teams. Fast save for Vancouver. They're going to push through apps, tack out the cars. You got 1 and 2 pushed up here. Paco actually gets a kill even though he gets super tagged. Team nade goes down. RC from Envoy. He must have been RCing B side and they just get rolled over in this round. Let's go back to this. So I'm assuming Envoy's either carring middle or carring B. The team nade completely fucks everything up though. I'm assuming it was one of those nade blows up another nade type of thing. How often do you scrim search? Pretty often, a couple times a week. Or I would say a few times a week. It's actually, I feel like it's more this year than it was last year.
Just in case, you know, COD fans, we exist in a sort of different speed than the rest of the world at times. I feel like this has only been 3 minutes and 12 seconds.
Do you like Sundays off or Mondays off? I don't really prefer. I feel like Sundays off is better just because like everyone else in the world is basically off Sundays, so it's kind of lines up with kind of everyone else. Having Mondays off is just kind of weird, but it's not such a big deal. It just feels like a weekend when you have a Monday off. Is it hard to scrim surge because you don't want to give away strats? that's part of it. I think it's the bigger part of it is that some teams will do some like crazy like I don't want to say stupid shit, but just like run it down shit. They you know that they wouldn't do it in a match, and you kind of have to just like get yourself in the mindset that like they might do some stupid shit, but you're focusing more on yourself than what they're doing. That's always the biggest thing for like a hurdle for players is like, you know that, or you're expecting them to just play as if it were like in a match, play for real, and then they might do some run it down thing that you don't think they would do when like money's on the line or when you know, a chip is on the line. If that makes sense.
They had a team kill in the middle of it.
Match point to go 2-0 up in the series. Everyone in position for this one. Going into the half, not what you want to see. The Thieves. This is one of
Oh, B counter. Super B counter. We're going to have DJ kills right here. Never mind, no kills actually go down for that. LET doesn't actually engage.
I mean, they're trying to square though. Vancouver Surge are huge.
4 still watching middle and A. He's jiggling that. 2 is now moved towards middle to pick this back up in case they wrap towards middle. Looks like these guys are staying here towards B side though.
3v2 to try to take over the site, but they feel the fear. They're backing down.
Can they get a pick? Can they get a kill without being traded? RC.
Wonder if he clears this angle. He does. Same angle that I think Ant used back in the last tournament too.
Delivering these rounds.
It's a very common angle for when you get pushed up middle.
Forward now. 2 1v1s separately, but Surge, they've got
And they wrap back to B. 4 is now helping. Now they see there's more pressure here. Should be Seattle's way though. Do you think talking to a CS coach will help your S&Ds, or is it too different? I've always wanted to pick their brain about how like they might practice or how they do some things that they do. So if anyone knows the CS coach, got a connections, I think that'd be cool to talk to one of them.
Good for maybe 2 or 3
Like a high level CS coach. But I've never talked to one, but I would definitely want to pick their brain. Do teams save strats during the season to use them at champs? Maybe. I feel like if anything, it'd be more so that they're developing them now to save them at champs. But I feel like if you developed it like 3 months ago, you would have used it already. I don't know. Maybe not. At least in my case, I feel like you're not gonna you would save it for like a tournament. I don't feel like you would save it fully for champs unless it's like super game breaking and yeah, I don't know.
B side of LA Thieves making the adjustment and just hard reading the corner.
But obviously, yeah, you would save some for tournaments. But I don't know if there's any one that I've saved specifically for champs just for the end of the year. Now I think about it. Unless it again was really game breaking. I feel like now is the time that people are trying to find more stuff just because it's like the final grind for champs.
Inabuza was absurdly clutch in MW3.
Oh yeah, I know CS is similar, very similar in that type of stuff. So that's why I would want to get their and pick their brain about it, because I do think there's a lot more intricacies and it's a lot more strategic, a lot more I don't know. At least in my opinion, it's a lot more strategic and a lot more play strat oriented than you know COD is. So that's why I kind of would want to pick their brain about it and see if I could like take anything away. I kind of just want to watch searches today. I'm just gonna go back and do searches. What do you use to enlarge the minimap on the screen? I just have it on OBS. I don't see it differently on my end. I just have another display capture on the screen, and I just enlarge that one. I just see it regularly on my screen. More dealership? Dealership was played a lot. I didn't realize how much this was played. Is there any ex-Optic Val or CS coaches? I think there's a couple, but I haven't reached out to any of them. Have you seen the champs layout? It looks exact the same as last year. Yeah, it does look pretty similar. Personally, I'm surprised they haven't really adopted more of the middle setup with, you know, the arena around it, similar to last year's champs. This will be the first tournament this year with that. So I think that's cool. I don't know why they haven't really adopted it more so for the other events though. Maybe because of the way it was laid out. At least last event in DreamHack, it was a convention center, so it's not like you could have a bunch of seats in like upper bowls that will make it a little bit better. Because if it's all one floor like a convention center is, you're kind of screwed.
Already off.
But the teams facing each other makes more sense. Yeah, I think it always should be teams facing each other. I think it develops a lot of stuff, storylines and shit talk.
Through the window, so that will alert Gio that he needs to get into the play or near to the play, but it gets shut down. Bomb still being planted. Astro looks like he's gonna be comfortable to keep this into a 3v3 post.
That's a good play by Rancor. Picking up the mid pinch as the, who was it? Ken was trying to activate on it.
And that's going to be enough for Miami in a 3v4 to come away and not drop another member in. That's just another one of the stories.
Hey, it was good, Tangri.
Like we just can't throw away advantage.
Do you guys scrim teams on your side of the bracket? We will be for this week only. So this week we'll be scrimming. Jesus, I just pressed back. There's a button on my pen that has like a back button. I have to deprogram that because I keep hitting that by accident. So here, this is what I'll break down for you guys in terms of the scrim stuff. So some teams are strictly not scrimming any of the teams that they're not going to be on, or that they are on the same side with. Most teams are scrimming the teams that are on the same side of the bracket until Friday. So like, let's say this week, we'll have a couple of Carolina, Toronto, and FaZe scrims, or like one or two of each maybe. But once Friday, starting Saturday, it's only what's it called, Miami, LAT, Vancouver, and Boston. And some of these are here as well, but I'm saying like these will only be until Saturday. That's what most teams are doing. Now it's closer to champs. Do you watch other teams more now instead of VOD? Do you watch other teams more now instead of VOD? I've always watched other teams more, but you mean like with the team you watch other teams? I mean, we'll watch other teams, but only if it's specific things we want to watch. For search stuff, that's we'll watch other teams or like specifics like tendency stuff. But it's not like we're going in and being like every day is just a focus on one, VOD of FaZe or one VOD of Toronto or something, So the teams that champs not scrim at all, yeah, they're not scrimming for a little bit. They won't scrim until like probably the week of champs or the week after champs.
That's going to be so difficult for Minnesota to break down.
And how many stuns and A's do they have to try to retake this with a little bit easier of an approach? It's already been 15 seconds knocked down. They know that Miami are fully set up around the site. It's time to hit the go button. Estrio last man standing, and Miami quickly up 2-0.
Yeah, and that's something that I think a lot of teams could learn from, in terms of those that don't necessarily have this map in the back pocket, is how Miami are so convincing. And
all teams are at EWC? Yes. All teams will be at EWC. There are going to be all teams, all pro teams, plus there's going to be 4 amateur teams like last year.
And that doesn't just mean the A side. They do it on B better than just about any other team in the league as well. So there's a lot of things.
Yeah, it was good prosper. Dude, as soon as I sent that DM to you, someone else I think it was Sitrek in the chat as well, said the same thing where it was if you change team in the middle, that's what fucks it up.
Look here for Miami, aggressive over towards Arches. Trades are out. Semtex to turn the tides, but keep your eye on your bomb carrier. Nero has already got some space to work over towards A if Kenny can just stay alive.
Yeah, and Kenny's going to try to isolate onto this gunfight and is able to get out of dodge, so makes it a 2v2. A minute to work with. Both players are currently spread.
Do you think it should go back to 16 teams?
Kenny knows this potentially
I think that it should be 16 teams, but I think in a franchise league,
the only thing he's got going for him is that no one has seen him.
I think they want to make sure that all 12 teams in general that are franchise are stable enough before we get 16. But I do think 16 should be every tournament, where it's like 4 amateur open bracket people that come in, similar to how it was before in previous years.
Yeah, the best teams at dealership are the teams that initially shut down that B push. And if Miami are going to consistently,
But I don't want to have 4 teams join and not care about the league. If that makes sense.
You have to get a read on where the
Because there's already teams in the league that don't really care about their spot. You need to have people that are super committed.
Spots on the defensive end, and they keep on walking away with the trade fights. Real on 5 in a row, Rencor on 3 in a row. Miami are currently streaking up 3-0 in the search and destroy, can currently do no wrong.
Yeah. And now how about this? Different.
Do you think shouldering needs to be used more in S&D?
Minnesota have gotten.
I mean, I think it's used a lot already.
Good pick, able to see Real and then finish him before he can get to cover behind the desk. So Metals has to vacate mid. Rencor, I think, has seen a couple of players on the cross. And again, this is what I love about Miami. Look how far forward he gets. He gets Gio by surprise, not fully. Will just stun him away, cook up a nade, and just try to stay alive here at the mid shack.
Yeah, but now if you're a rocker, you know that you have them trapped them.
Do I have no game audio, by the way? Bravo CM no game audio? Or just this match? Isn't S&D broken on the new patch? No, it isn't.
I cannot believe that Astro did not try to peek window.
Not that I know of, at least. Oh, the audio is just super delayed. What's with this audio?
Can start to be a little bit more safe, but Astro and Gio do find the picks.
Chad, if you're talking about the bug that happened yesterday in the challengers thing, again, we kind of deciphered what it was. It's a weird bug where if you change teams once the countdown is going, like at the beginning of the game, then it'll fuck up like that. You just can't change teams in the middle of the countdown. B stream is having lots of issues day one. Heard that. Because I watched some B stream stuff, but I didn't have audio when I was watching it.
Rockers staying strong on the defense to secure their first round. But now they need to figure out their attacking approach, because if you're going over towards B and Miami are meeting you, that hasn't worked out. Probably got to switch it up there.
Oh, I see, because I saw Scrappy yapping about it. Yeah, so whenever we stream search, most of the time the teams are correct. So again, you're never going to have that problem unless you fuck up the teams and you switch in the middle of it instead of ending the game to try and fix it. So that's why we haven't really run into that problem.
We have the man advantage. We can retake it with our numbers. No one just gets caught. But Gio is going to put himself in position to at least catch Real. It's just more players on the side of Miami in a position to play the trade. Still a man up for Miami.
Miami's playing this dealership well. This is another map they like. I mean, they like every search basically, except Proto.
Nero trying to make his way around the back, but Miami are aware that this is a possibility, and they deal with it quickly. Another one of those rounds where it just does not make a difference about the first blood battle. Miami just so good at recovering and putting themselves into a position, even when the three-man setup, just never allow Minnesota to find another elimination.
Yeah, they're just picking them apart one by one. When you think you're able to isolate onto a player on Miami, no, there's someone right next to him playing for the trade. So they're always putting themselves in a numbers advantage. Now we're able to stop the bleeding, take the advantage again, up by 3. Only need 2 rounds to close out this search and destroy, go back on the attack. Minnesota needs to be able to stand strong here.
Full A commit from Miami. 4 is going to watch the pinch. We only have Ken over here at the yellow car. Let's see if they try and nade him from the yellow car. He does have a trophy though. He's going to back up, wait for his team for the retake. But during this moment, 1 and 2 have already pushed towards back junk. So they're taking space on the offensive side. Doesn't look like Miami sees them. No, they didn't. But a nade goes down on their side. Gio actually had a retake nade there. But again, once again, they didn't know Metals pushed all the way through their back junk. He gets a 2-piece for it. Real tries to make a play through middle. They pick him. Metals gets another one. Last one goes to Miami. Just taking super space. That Metals literally just made the play getting to back junk without them seeing him. Who on the team calls and search? For our team, most of the time it's Ant.
In towards the garage. That's what gives the space for Miami to push right through that A site and take all that space away.
Do you think it's unfair teams that were better at the start of the year are awarded more because more CDL points up for grabs?
On their side.
I mean, I don't think it's unfair. I mean, it's just a problem with the system in general. But yeah, I think if anything, more of the points should have been delayed towards the end of the season.
The sultry sounds of the CDL music as we get into round.
But yeah, I think it is kind of weird.
Metals
But
on 3 in a row, trying to play the front door.
I think it's more so, okay,
Minnesota.
I will say I think it's more so it's unfair because of the randomized schedule. I think it's, if it were a competitive schedule where it was either like a division-based thing or, you know, everyone played each other the same amount of times, first and second half, it wouldn't be as much of a problem. But since it is a randomized schedule, I think it is kind of weird. But
and now
fuck it.
Metals, he's able to get a little bit of support.
I think the minors should have been at major 3 and 4, not 1 and 2. Agreed. But also,
have to follow up on that.
I think it was a timing based thing. So they probably already had. So this is what I'm assuming, chat. They had the venue set up for 1, 2, 3, and 4. So they had the dates already locked in for all 4 of these. So they need to make sure that they could get enough matches in before, so there wasn't enough downtime for each. And there must have been more, you know, downtime for these two, and that's why they had those minors and more matches. And then the dates they had for 3 and 4 were just, you know, closer together, and they had to do it all before champs, obviously. But better idea is just to have a minor for every stage. Because I think the minors were actually pretty cool.
Minnesota are waiting for that play through middle, and Nero's just not in position to follow up with the right timing. So now he's in a 1v2. He's seen both members, but it doesn't matter. And
like, chat, how many times did we play? Who did we play the least? Dude, we played Vancouver like twice this year. Is that not true? Maybe 3 times? I'm pretty sure we've only played them twice. I'm trying to think of other teams that we didn't play much. Vancouver we played twice. We played everyone else. I mean, LET we played what, three times? FaZe we played a decent amount. Rocker we played, oh, maybe Rocker also. Rocker I feel like we've only played like 3 times, maybe 2. But Vancouver I'm pretty sure we only played twice.
Is just so off kilter. And when we're trusting time,
hey, well, it's a good pop and poke. That's some good gas.
And it's just not enough.
Not sure about the model part, but appreciate it. Some good gas.
This time it's Real who counteracts the initial.
Both of them was online for Surge, yeah. So we never played them on LAN, obviously, because they were going deep to some of the LANs and we weren't. But even online, we only played them twice.
Minnesota now are feeling the pressure.
I already watched our S&Ds on stream. Let me go to this one.
A lot of those losses have been in
another dealership. Jesus.
The opening attack, and this is again what FaZe like.
Guys, to be honest, is this COD one of the worst in years? Yeah, in terms of the map set and stuff, that makes it just worse. I think it relies so heavily on the map set for it to be a good COD or just competitive game in general. But yeah, I will say it is a pretty bad map set. How would you guys rank the CDL games in terms of competitive? So I think Cold War is definitive #1. I would then put MW3. Then I would put, let's see. I think Cold War and MW3 are guaranteed 1-2. So now we have what? We have Vanguard, we have MW2, and we have MW 2019. Oops. And this game, obviously. I'll just do MW19 and obviously BO6. See, so what do you talk? Okay, what do you guys put first? Do you put first maps or gameplay? Because obviously BO6 has better gameplay than MW2, and that's guaranteed. MW19 is guaranteed last place. We will say that. Oh wait, there's been 6 games. Holy fuck. MW19 is guaranteed sixth place. Maps. So you guys would say MW2. Then, honestly, chat, I think we go BO6 then Vanguard. I think that's my list, personally. Minimap in the way. Oops, my bad. I feel like that's how I would put CDL in terms of like competitive COD. But like also, dude, MW2 was horrible competitive wise. Dude, no dead silence. Like, bro, I think we should interchange these, no? Even though the map set for BO6 is a lot worse, like, is it that much worse that it you know, we're putting MW2 over it? Vanguard over BO6? That one, I don't know if I could put over. Because I didn't like Vanguard's map set either. MW2 didn't have red dots. How are we putting in one with no red dot? I'm sorry. If we're talking about my opinion, I would say this. Bro, how would you... No, I don't know. These two I might interchange. But I think these are the top 3 for CDO. Right? Dude, no red dots and no dead silence makes that game so much worse. Vanguard over MW2. I'm actually down to do that shit too. Dude, no red dots, no dead silence make this shit awful. Regardless, it goes Cold War and then it goes MW3. Guaranteed. That's number 1, number 2. Everything else is up for debate, and obviously number 6 is MW 2019. If MW3 had MW2 maps, it would be number 1 in my opinion. Are we gassing MW2 maps though? I think Hotel was great. But you guys think like, bro, Fortress Control we played for a fucking minute? Fortress Search, bro. Can we talk about MW2 Search? Hotel was the only good map. Was it not? Are we looking at MW2 in a good light? Because Hotel was the only good map MW2 Search. El Asilo, awful. Fortress, awful. Embassy, pretty fucking bad. Mercado Search, awful. Dude, MW2 map set was dog shit. Like, this map set is bad, don't get me wrong, but I think MW2 might be worse. Hotel was the only good map in that shit. I swear Hotel was the only good map.
And there you go, everyone activates Sib left to fight this no 1v3.
MW2 is my coming out party, so bias number 1. I hear that. I hear that line nice. The hard points in MW2 were good. Control was ass.
Look, Enigma, I'm just gonna say this.
I think Hotel hardpoint was good.
As a commentator who's watched them play this,
but again, Fortress was okay, but it wasn't anything special.
A little bit unexcusable there in terms of not.
Hydra was awful.
All those set names over the top.
What else? What were the other hardpoint maps? Mercado. Mercado was mid.
They may be thinking, all right, FaZe aren't going to expect us to do this, right? That doesn't work at all. So you're right.
Embassy, Hotel, Hydro, Mercado, all hardpoints better than we have outside Hasi.
Down at least, which I guess is a positive, but I mean, you get hit.
Are we putting them all above? All above?
So it's to minimal effect. And
we gotta break this down. Let's write up the map set here. So we had Embassy, Mercado, Hotel, Hydro. What's the last one I'm missing? Embassy, Mercado, Hotel, Hydro, Fortress. And we have Skyline, Hasi, Red Card, what's it called? Vault. And what am I missing? What's the last one? Skyline, Hasi, Red Card, Vault. Why is this escaping me? Oh, Rewind. This isn't even close. BO6 map's way better. Minimap again? Dude, I'm just going to turn off the minimap for right now. So which maps are we taking, chat? BO6 IDK yet? We will wait for champs. But by the way, we're talking about hardpoint map set. Fortress legit had the biggest money hill all time, P3. It was a pretty big money hill. You're also missing Proto. Well, I'm just doing the final map set. BO6 for sure. NW2 maps. This is, I think I would actually go BO6 as well, but I don't think it's that far away. Like, I think they're pretty fucking close. They're both mid as fuck. It's the battle of mid, bro. It's the battle of absolute mid. That I think we can all agree with. It's a fucking mid off. That's basically it. Hossie alone made BO6 better. I low-key agree. If we're going battle of the best, it's Hotel and Hossie, and I think Hossie edges it out. But I will say, what is the worst of the worst? It low-key might be red card. Oh wait, you got banned for posting links. I'll unban you. My bad. See more. Fortress dog shit. Yeah, Fortress was pretty ass. Regardless, battle of the fucking mid. Let's be honest here, chat. Battle of the absolute mid. Wait, we do have to do this because I talk about this on stream every now and then too. What are we doing for best map set all time? Let's do best hardpoint map set. I'm not talking CDL. Because I think it comes down to 3 games. Or let's go 4 games. BO2, BO3, AW, and BO4. What are we saying for best map set all time? So here we have Standoff, Slums, Raid. What was the last one? Oh, Yemen. Wasn't there another one? BO3, we have what? Fringe. What's it called? Stronghold. I'm forgetting what is it? What was the green the map with all the fucking ivy and shit? Evac. AW. Solar. Detroit. Biolab. Retreat. BO4, Freak, Hossie, Arsenal, what's it called? Seaside. I'm missing one, right? BO4 was godlike. I think BO3 is the worst out of the 4, personally. I'm going 4th, BO3. Wrong? Chat, you think BO3 is better than BO2, AW, or BO4? There's no way. BO3's godlike map set? There's no way it's better than either of these 3. I'm sorry. You guys really think that? I think AW is slept on, and I think BO3 is guaranteed number 4. Now, this is the hardest one for me. AW versus BO4, I think, are just fucking behemoth map sets. If it's strictly hardpoint maps, BO3 is weakest, but still great. I hear that. I think BO3 is mid. I agree. I'm putting shit. This is so like it's hard because it's a good map set for BO2, but it didn't work. Like this didn't work in Cold War, and so we've never played the remake of Slum. So I think it really depends on the game as well. But obviously, Raid is number 1 all time. I think we put BO2 here. But Raid catapults it, and it could go into 2 or 1. Then I would put AW, BO4 are both 1 and 2 for me. I think you could pick either. BO4 and AW had god tier hardpoint map sets. I don't know what I don't even know if I could choose between each of the two. Oh, Breach was another one. Sorry, I forgot about Breach. But again, mid. I don't think it compares to these others. I don't think you can go wrong with either of these 1 or 2. I would also say that I think there's an argument for BO2 because of how Standoff, Slums, and Raid played in BO2. So I would, dude, honestly, if we're going back to this, I think there's a case for this to be a BO2 as well. I think they're all so close. I think guaranteed you have BO3 at the bottom, but all these other 3, I don't think you can go wrong. What the fuck did I just click on? We're just this actually must look fucking insane on the stream. But we're looking at a hardpoint map sets, best hardpoint map set of all time. AW getting so much love recently. I love it. Bro, AW map set was fucking great. I think that shit's super slept on.
It looks like we've got that 2-2 split coming on through.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those you just kind of throw some effort onto both sites, keep the defense a bit guessing.
3-3 map set was great for uplink though. Oh yeah, sorry. We're talking about hardpoint. Let's do S&D real quick. I don't think you can get better than BO2 S&D. Ghost is up there too. But I think BO2 S&D had Raid, Standoff, Express, Meltdown, Ghost had obviously like Warhawk, Sov, Octane. What am I missing? Warhawk, Sov, Octane. Freight. Dude, I think BO2 S&D clears that shit. I think BO2 S&D had a perfect map set. Raid, Standoff, Express, Meltdown. Am I missing one? This S&D map set is fucking insane looking back on it. Warwick S&D was godlike and probably one of my favorite maps all time. S&D. Definitely top 2. But I think this as a full map set, I think this as a full S&D map set is crazy good. MW3. So MW3 was what? Karachi, Invasion, 6-star. Or sorry, at the end of the year. Karachi, Invasion, 6-star. What am I missing? Rio. I think Rio takes it down a bunch. High Rise. I think S&D High Rise for MW3 was horrible. I think these 3 are good. These ones mock it down a bunch, so I don't think you can put MW3 in the conversation. Personally. I think Ghost is up there. I think BO2 S&D is number 1. BO3 has a pretty decent one too. But are we putting it over Ghost and BO2, chat? BO3. I think Hunted brings this shit down 8 like a lot though. I hated Hunted, but they had Redwood, Stronghold. What else? Breach, Hunted, Fringe. Is that the 5? I think you have to go BO2 number 1. And then Ghost number 2. I love Ghost map set, don't get me wrong, but this map set is fucking Hall of Fame straight up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Lion Eyes. That shit's literally Hall of Fame status. Like all 4 of those maps are Hall of Fame S&D maps. I'm not even kidding. Hunted was so bad. I agree. I think that was the only S&D map on BO3 I didn't really like. But I think it brings it down. Let's rewind back in time. We didn't know what we had. I think we knew what we had. We just fucking couldn't do anything about it. What do you think of Cold War S&D? I think the BO2 map set saved that game in Search. Because think about it this way, chat. For for Cold War S&D, we would have had Checkmate, which was horrible. Garrison, which was horrible. Moscow, which was good. What's it called? But I think again, Express and Standoff coming in for these 2 maps save this game for Search. Miami was mid as fuck. Oh, I forgot about an Infection for BO4. Or sorry, for BO3. World War II S&D. I'm just talking about like #1 all time. I don't think World War II S&D can even touch a candle to fucking BO2 map set. Chat, think about it this way, bro. Raid, God tier search map. Standoff, God tier search map. Express, God tier search map. Meltdown, good as fuck. Some would even say God tier search map. Am I missing one? I mean, Cargo, but that shit got taken out, but like after champs. What was the other? Wasn't there one other one? What am I missing? What was the other search map that I'm missing, chat? What uplink map set would you choose? Let's do that one. It's not going to be IW. I don't think. I think Throwback Uplink was good, but I don't think the others were great. What was the other BO2 map set? Or BO2 S&E map? Was there no other one? Was that it? Slums was also played for a little bit, but I think that was just S&D tournaments, right? Was there only 4 maps for Search? I think it was. Hey, Honor, appreciate the sub with Prime. Thank you, my guy. Okay, regardless, we know BO2 is #1 S&D map set. So, okay, let's talk about the uplink. Someone want to talk about uplink ones. I think AW had a great map set for uplink. I think Comeback is #1 all time, not even a debate. And I think Detroit was really good too. I think Biolab kind of takes it down a little peg, personally. We have BO3, which is what? Breach, Evac. What was the other one for uplink? Best optic content right here. Hey, appreciate that. Fringe, you're right. I think Fringe was good, obviously. And then IW was, what was it? Frost, Throwback, and why is it escaping me? Oh, what? Precinct? Precinct? Was that what it was called? The one with the cat? I think personally, I'm saying AW. Oh, Infection was also one. They had 4 maps for BO3 uplink. I think Comeback, Detroit are 2 of my top probably 3 or 4 for sure. I think Comeback and Detroit are just goated, like, you know, uplink maps. So even though like Biolab is like kind of mid, I think these 2 raise AW to #1 personally. I think Throwback is good. I think Fringe was good. Those are just like classic ones, obviously. What do you guys think? I just think Comeback and Detroit were just classic control maps. I think it has to clear. Detroit uplink was the most fun map in COD history. See that, I see a lot of that for Detroit, but I personally would say Comeback And I think a lot of people would say comeback as well. But the fact that there's even like people saying that it's best map makes me think that AW just completely clears. You think Uplink comes back next year? If there's wall running or like jetpacks, like those leaks have like hinted at, then I think 100% it comes back. If they don't, then it's a fucking mistake. That's what I'll say. If they don't, it's an absolute mistake. AW for sure. Some of the wall run spots were cool to see though in BO3 and IW. True. That was a good talk. I like talking map sets like that.
See what exactly you can do to
I'll bring the mini map shit back up.
Adjust the dynamic of the map based on the information that you've gathered. But to be fair, Cloud9 have not given away much intel, haven't thrown a ton of set nades, at least not to
Does anyone miss World War II? I think World War II was just a good, solid competitive game, but map set wise, I didn't think it had such like a great map set personally. I think it was just boring to watch for a lot of people, so that's why it kind of leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths.
First blood situations, but when it's instantly traded like that, it's to very little other than gaining some information.
But like Saint Marie was like okay. I think it was like pretty good for hardpoint, but I didn't like it for search that much. Arden was another like classic search map. I actually liked Arden for search.
Who does retrieve bomb and looks like he's gonna get it straight onto B. Actually, no.
Oh, mantle on through the window. Capsule as seamless. One straight shot comes through, but Draza recognizing he had done more.
The teams get any saying where the major is and why is it always the same team who hosts? Because those teams are the ones willing to put up the money to host them. And in terms of do teams get a say, I'm assuming they get to bid for them. Like, I assume either bidding for majors or having an agreement with the league that they'll have one or something. I'm not the one to ask for that. This is kind of just speculation on my end.
Of course, to push through Shaq. I think they set up that timing. They're waiting to think that that bomb plant's going to come through for Cloud9, and then they get aggressive and catch them completely by surprise. Amazing mid-round adjustment.
Here we go again. 3 members for phase over towards B. Cloud9 moving right onto A. Once again,
Quick A for C9. Cell trying to nade the cars. He gets one. He tries to get an angle here on Dante here. Interesting angle, trying to jump on top of the little crate over there. Spark gets one with his life. Caps gets another one flanking through Garage here. Somehow, I guess that nade blew up Draw's RC and killed him.
Great adjustment. Cloud9 with a good answer.
Really quick A take for Cloud9.
I'm not sure what happens off screen with Draw's RCXD, but I believe it takes him out.
What the hell? What the hell?
Or someone just shoots it immediately, drops it either way.
Nagafin Redwood tree route. Yeah, Naga had the fucking moves.
It's a very early round, but feels like one of those important.
If any BO2 map was brought in, which map and what genre mode? I think the safest is to just give us raid so we can have it for all 3 game modes. Let's say we're playing control, obviously. It would be played hardpoint, S&D, and control. That's the safest. Just think about it this way. If we were going to add a new map into the map set, hopefully it would be good for all 3 game modes. We had raid too many times though. I don't personally, I don't care. We've had raid twice. One in Black Ops 2 and one time in Cold War.
But answering back just gives you that glimmer of hope in the dark.
Express S&D, hardpoint is fine. We just need S&D. I think I would rather have a good map that for all 3 game modes personally.
Criticism on the flank talking about Atlanta continuing to play this 3-1 split on defense was giving it up too much.
I think Express is one of my favorite search maps ever though.
As we get the battle over towards mid. Atlanta trying to change up their angle.
Any existing game modes that would be viable for the 3rd game mode?
Absolutely none of it.
When you say existing, meaning like they're already in the game? I think the only one that you could maybe say is like headquarters or something. If it's not in the game right now, I think again I've talked about war a lot. Obviously uplink if there are jetpacks and sabotage or some shit like that. But again, there'd be a lot of overtime like contingency stuff that you'd have to take care of. Why do you think they didn't add maps like they did last year with Rio 6-star Via or Vista? Because they didn't have good maps to work with. I mean, they have added DLC maps, but they aren't good. I mean, whoever worked on those maps for Sledgehammer absolutely cooked, especially like those maps.
with this 3-1 split.
And there was maps that we never even played. Like apparently some people were saying that Tokyo map was really good too, but it was just way too late for champs.
They very well may be trying to do that, but Atlanta are not making adjustments. They're just doing.
Do you think King of the Hill from Halo would work in COD?
This time it's an earlier check on A from Celium, but it's Civ.
Isn't that shit? Isn't King of the Hill the same shit as like Hardpoint basically?
And he's gonna
Or am I
find
faded?
Beyond for the ace here.
What am I thinking of?
But Simp shuts him down from finding all 4. It would be a 1v4 for him.
Blitz was so trolly and fun to watch. Agreed.
Not interested.
Very trolly to play.
Gunfights are just gonna
Fun as fuck to watch.
together. Or are they?
Is CTF really the best answer for their game mode?
1v1.
If the maps and gameplay suit for it, probably.
Smart right there to beat him at the front door.
If it's boots on the ground,
Happening.
I would assume so. I would rather have CTF than
The
control,
line there
personally.
of, like, guys, what are we doing? You don't hand Simp that opportunity. You're right, they were technically
Think he meant
playing a
Dom?
little bit in pocket, but they took those
I don't
fights.
want any type of Dom game mode.
A terrifying moment there, potentially for
Personally.
Cloud9. That is at least 3 rounds on the
I think
bounce.
again it has to rely on the maps as well for Dom to
I
work.
will say it's the first bloods right now that are getting new
Most of the
units.
maps just
Up
aren't built for
4-1,
Dom.
Just winning, shutting down essentially what FaZe like to do, which is take those opening jewels and come out on top so often as we've seen over the years.
Can CTF become really campy? Yeah, it can. That's kind of the issue with it that some people have. But I've said this before on stream, but I think the only way that we would ever bring back CTF, or the league would bring us CTF, is if the maps itself were smaller and made for it so that like there's not enough room to stalemate in the back. So it was like high octane, high scoring, and maybe a CTF would be like fucking 9-7 or some shit. I think that's the only way that it would ever come back, just to keep it high octane, you know? Because imagine if we played fucking... Dude, chat, what was the map? Was it Speedball? Imagine if we played a bigger version of Speedball in MW 2019. How fun would that be? Speedball, CTF, there's like a bigger version of it. That would be fucking insane. We'd basically be playing Nuketown. But shit would be kind of lit if we were playing CTF.
And FaZe, well, they want to get aggressive off this offense.
Trophy system down for Kremp. Doing its job very nicely. And Atlanta, with no information on where the defense is going to just kind of back away and allow the ARs of...
I think the only way, personally, Dom would ever come back in, and this is not going to happen because it's just not how COD maps are built, is if you have Dom maps that are like in the form of circles. Gunrunner worked this way, and it was a decent Dom map. Obviously, Strike Zone, probably one of the better Dom maps of all time, worked this way. But the fact that if it's built in a way that the triangles are in a circle like this, or I guess a triangle, and you keep having this rotation, I think that's the only way to keep it like a little bit exciting. But think about it this way, like if you had Dom on dealership here, there'd be one flag here, there'd be one flag here, and there would be one flag here. And it'd be boring as fuck. And you would stalemate back here, and you would stalemate back here. The maps literally have to be built for it.
Celium and Draza to try to feel things out. They see Sparta at range. I believe they also know that Capsule's playing the corner, but they don't know about Kremp. Tucked in this tight corner behind
We should just do a Slayer.
the information that
No.
can be gained is enough for them to try to transition.
Slayer won't work in COD.
A bit of a conga line.
Slayer will never work in COD.
One capsule.
If you want to know why it won't work, go watch MW3. What was it? The COD XP tournament. Watch them play TDM or Kill Confirmed, and then come back to me and say we should have Slayer.
Kremp had a good look at Celium, but wasn't able to finish the kill, so we stay 3v2. Bomb picked up and instantly goes for the plant at B.
Sniper rifle for a streak to fix the S&D snipe issue.
A lot of space.
Cool idea and concept. I don't think the developers would ever add that into the game though.
Draza in that tight alleyway by the
So you're thinking like an op basically? Like you buy an op because you go on a 5 streak or some shit? That'd be kind of dope, but again, that would be on the dealer, or not on the dealership, on the developers to add that shit in.
This is taking too long for Cloud9. You gotta burst through this, and here comes the play to try to do just that.
It's gotta go. Brent will fly forward. Spark's gonna try and at least provide backup. It will be a 1v1 trade though, and that will not be enough. Atlanta FaZe come out on top. And honestly,
TDK is too fast in COD for Slayer. Yeah, TDK is too fast. There's no power weapons, no objective on the map. Everyone would just camp. What do you think about snipes and S&D? I think it's good for the diversity of the game mode. I think it's a little bit too easy to work with
defensive stand.
in this game, but
Celium just forces
I
that
like
away.
the
You get that bomb down.
the
To draw that
dynamic it
line
adds to
and
Surge
beg
personally.
C9 to cross it, and of course, when they try, they fall.
And it's just the mind games too that Atlanta does to you, not showing you much in terms of what site they want to attack off the get-go.
What do you who do you think you should win MVP this year? We're just talking about regular season. Probably Ernie, Scrap.
Try to contest B. Like, there's just so many things you have to be worried about. And here we go again, Atlanta.
I feel like it'd be him or like Cell or Simp, and I feel like I would put more weight into the later tournaments.
Over the top of the site, and Cloud9 will
Yeah,
go
him or
back
Hydra
hard
for
up
sure.
to a large
I feel like it has to be one of the
lead
LAT
they're
guys
about
like
to
that. Just because I feel like, obviously since they won the last two tournaments, but I would weigh the later tournaments than early or more than the earlier tournaments.
Easy, I feel. Can you activate? Well, simple. At least find one to give you the first blood.
It's so big. Cell just puts pressure on Sparta initially, allowing these subs to be able to move on in, but the setup on the
How about an oddball type of game mode?
post plant. And yeah,
Time
now
to
it's
time to
for
kill is
Atlanta
too
to make an
fast.
adjustment to their defensive setup, because that's
And it would be
two
too
times now that
campy.
they've really not been able to put much of an effort into stopping Cloud9 on these quick plants. So nice little battle back here from Cloud9 after the opening round offense was really not done well, but the adjustments are noted. And
Gun game,
Cloud9
third
hold
game
that, I
mode.
would say, on their offensive side.
Yeah, don't know about that one.
I think we're going to tip our hat a little bit. We thought that this would be a bit of a whitewash. It was not good in the S&D last time. But right now, New York.
When do you pick the oddball, or when do you pick up the, or when you pick up the oddball, you get 3 Warzone plates? Again, then it's gonna be very, very, very campy.
Trying to counter that C9 aggression, but it doesn't come through.
Yeah, just a little
The
bit of
time to kill is just way
right.
way too quick for the other players as well too.
Apps pushed off from Arches. Double checks mid. Doesn't see anything, and then gets right back into position where he can still keep draws it in.
At least that's what I think.
Yep.
Also, it used to be a game mode,
All that is to
but
see
they just didn't bring it back in.
Apps can just dominate that space.
Chat, it was instead of a ball. Technically, it's not the same thing because it was a flag and you could still shoot, but it was called Team Defender back in MW3.
Over. Might be a little bit too late though, or is it? Sin will be the first one to drop, leaving it easy by himself. He's also your bomb character, so he's gonna have to do it all. And it's still, the effort is purely on what he can do. Capital Cramp find the first couple of kills needed, and Cell has got nowhere to go. Cloud9 besting Atlanta. Really
Halo
in
also has a
their own
10-second
playbook.
respawn delay. Isn't Control a good swing mode?
Kill through mid as well.
I don't think so. I think it's just boring as fuck. I don't think it's.
You're in a spot where you've got
I think it's glorified TDM in a way.
forward and get shot
I don't think
down.
we've really had a good Control
I'm very impressed right now.
game since BO4, and that was built with Control in mind.
To your playbook, do you have something to bring to the table? If you didn't, this was looking like it was going to
How are the weapons the pros use each year decided? I mean, they try and use the best ones, and then they start GAing whatever,
chickens just yet.
and then it somehow just normalizes, and you just go with the whatever's best that isn't GA'd.
At B. Similar defensive rotation though early towards
Not my decision though, so that would,
And I think
that's more of a
decent read at this. It just comes down to
GA
really
chat
trusting
question.
information. Now knowing that there's players at mid, that B should be relatively open from arches. I say that with hesitation though, because all it takes is a Beezy jump into the window to completely change that, and that's a big first win from Simp. Help from a Beezy. The Tiny Terrors will collect the first 2.
Then might have missed one to his left. Spark slips in, finds a kill at least. You do get onto B, so an opportunity to plant here. It is a 2v2. It is winnable, and Selim and Draza split right now. It's about how they approach. Selim's not going to get the timing.
What's the rule for staking out 2 pumps?
What?
You get a free
Great question. I think it's anything more than 1 pump,
Free fire on to Sib, and it connects. Now Spark. trying to
but there's a
follow
lot of
up. Draza.
discrepancy with what is technically a 1 pump. Because technically, if you slide, if you let's say you're using this bomb as a heady, if you slide to this bomb and peek up, that doesn't count as a pump. But if you peek up again, that counts as 1 pump. So sliding to a heady like this is not considered a pump. But after that, you can pump once.
Free fire on to Sib, and it connects. Now Spark trying to follow up for the trade. Draza?
Do you think team vote for rules should be public? Every other league makes it public.
Did the
Yeah, sure, why not?
Bug out or what? Like he was sitting
But
back there
again,
for
every
a
other
while.
league has a committee that works with it.
What just happened?
This is kind of just a DM chat.
We'll come back to that. The moment through Simp there in the first blood is exactly why you can never count this team out, by the way. Simp's weak, he's back down, he's getting followed up on by a second player. That should be a moment that hands C9 mid controlling the numbers advantage.
You need the BO3 ban and protect back.
Well,
I would like it for weapons and shit.
if you're Cloud9,
But when you start banning things like dead silence and stuff, that's when it gets really stupid, personally.
replay here of the previous round where you saw the aggression come out.
Or
of
start
C9.
like protecting things like high cal or something.
Atlanta FaZe.
I think there should be a base GAs and then you do ban and protect for things like weapons and maybe perks and stuff. But the perks have to be like you can't ban dead silence or something like that. You know what I mean? Or like if it's jetpacks, you can't ban afterburner.
Gun will land. Nade over the top does hit onto a BZ. So early 4v2 here for Cloud9 and Atlanta. Honestly, like,
What are the next CDL matches? What's the schedule? I mean, it's just champs in probably 2 or 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Draza misses the timing on Spart leaving his position. And so now it's just down to Cell for what has to be the 1v3 ace to get us to round 11.
He's just hoping that someone from New York will errantly stray. They do not, and well, Cell, I think, as well, is going to get the worst timing here on Capital. The fact that you're still alive somehow is outrageous, but shut down. So,
JP, are you nice at COD 2? Never seen you play, but I gotta imagine you're decent. I'm average, nothing special. Excited for Kitchener? Pretty excited. Not excited to be in Kitchener, but excited for champs, if that makes sense. People, or at least Damon and Brandon were kind of gassing Toronto, but not Kitchener. Not the event law Kitchener. Yeah, no. From what I've heard from Brandon and Damon, it's not something that I should be too excited for.
Playing the same 3-1 split on their defense, allowing A to be taken for free. I didn't fully agree with it because even though it was 6-4,
the time between now and champs is so dead. No CDL content. Yeah, I mean, at least for me, I would have liked to seen some type of online tournament, maybe like another minor just for money or something, not for CDL points, for like 2 weeks into this month break. I think that would at least give you guys some like initial storylines. Maybe teams that are playing in round 1 end up playing each other in that minor tournament. I don't see why not. It gives you some reps to go off of before our champs, especially with a month long. So I think that would have been cool, but guess not.
Where you want to dig. Playing just yet. You don't have to be able to break him down. But Boston, make no mistake, one of the better search squads we have in the game. Overall,
Let me make sure this mini map is good once it starts.
Consistent 0.7 he has been in this stage in the game mode, and still they managed to be strong.
Here we go, map number 2, red card S&D. Breach will be an attack first. 3-1 split here from Minnesota Rock over towards A. Heavy pressure from Breach towards B, and if they get moving fast, they should overwhelm the site.
I mean, hey, you got to call theirs.
Needs to be 5 majors, not just 4 or 5 majors plus champs is a good amount. I mean, I guess that's what EWC is now, right? Or you mean 5 then champs then EWC? I feel like 5 plus champs but EWC would be much better, personally. I think that's a good sweet spot. 7 events on the year.
Not necessarily worried about the rest of the boys there. Estral finds his first
EWC has pool play. I think it should be pool play and double limb. I think single limb tournaments are kind of whack, personally. Maybe that's just me.
For a 1v4. A little bit of time to work with,
but even though it has pool play, I think it should 100% still be double limb. I'd rather have double limb, no pool play, if we're going to do that.
Getting aggressive, following up on the comms, but as soon as Gio gets that first blood, Boston knows we have to find a way to even the odds. Snoopy gets aggressive, tries to peek the corner. His teammate does.
Like, yeah, that, again, with single limb, we lost to FaZe, but we didn't even get a chance to play either Vancouver or LAT. Who knows? Maybe we just go run that loser bracket and play FaZe again. But we didn't even have a chance to do that. You know what I mean?
Eliminate those players in those close corners, those hard to reach areas, man. It's like a back scratcher. Really gets the job done.
But I guess that's on us for the bracket seeding.
First contact, Nero. Trying to play this as slow and as sensibly as possible.
Because then we lose one in groups. Am I faded for that? Do we lose one in groups? And that's why weren't we second in groups, and that's why we would have to have played them. What did we lose, or who did we lose to? Did we just lose to FaZe, or did we lose to somebody else? I actually don't remember. No, we won both our matches. Oh yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, no, I mean, damn. Wait, for some reason I thought we lost in pools for a match. I guess not though. But yeah, we don't even have a chance to play LAT or Vancouver to see if we can get our spot back in the final. That to me is kind of whack, personally.
The flank by A also covered, waiting for anyone to show face.
Well, I mean, the setup Boston have on the minimap right now, if Awakening starts calling out, hey, we're going to be a little bit overwhelmed, it's going to be aggression, and yeah, if
Water's done.
I mean,
Rip.
Boston just stacked up so much aggression on this pinch. Cammy gets the next one. Nero trying to even out the odds, but this would be a 2 versus 4 clutch.
This practice still good going into EWC after they won champs? Yeah. For sure.
Bad timing on the play.
Bomb down.
He's going to be there. That drops. Yeah. Giro, he's going to get 1 kill out of this with 9 HP.
I will say, even though it was a big tournament, I think the high off champs kind of fucked us up a little bit. Because it was like, oh, we just assumed we were like the best after the year. We were just like, EWC is just the icing on the cake. But it's not like we weren't going into the tournament not trying to win or anything. Like, we were still doing well. Again, just FaZe beat us in 1 match, and we only had 1 match to lose because of a single limb.
Just to not die. He's just there for information.
But obviously, you're still running off the high of winning champs, for sure.
The trades are easy. Boston breaking out some good strats.
Back to scrim died today? Yeah. I mean, we were back earlier this week, or earlier last week. But yeah, yesterday was the day off. So I got to leave here in probably like 25, 30 minutes.
And Astral, the lone defender of the site, he's going to be very one shy. And Snoopy, he knows that's the go button. Open the doors, and a difference in this round, they will have trophies, so maybe able to get the bomb down just a little bit quicker. So many stuns just landed in their face.
Any update to GAs? The update to GAs, chat, is no muzzle and ARs. And reinforced back on the sub. That's the addition to the GAs. Any talks on possibly streaming scrims leading up to EWC? We'll see after champs.
Wow, Nero! What a first blood.
Unbelievable. Maybe the door just didn't open up all the way and it sort of tipped the hand. But the reason Boston...
More events equal more money for the league and teams, correct? Why not have 6 stages with the minor, round robin qualifiers, and the major? Because it is, or a lot of money needs to be put up to do all of that. So CDL itself has a budget. They have to pay staff. They have to pay everyone else to make sure it runs. Plus, the teams themselves have to fund the majors. So, yeah, I mean, you can make some money with the events, but you're also going in the red for events. If you're the CDL and if you're a team, I don't know how much money you're actually making. If you're the one actually hosting it.
I cannot believe he made that call.
That's former teammate too that he just took down. Nero and Awakening. Well, they've been around the block together, and Nero just took them on.
How different does the game feel with the new control spawns? I mean, control is just completely different. It's literally like you have to kind of relearn what you want to do a little bit. Not entirely, but game plan wise, it's pretty fucking different. Yeah. I think Hasi is probably the biggest one. Actually, no, Vault is still big. Vault and Hasi are both. Protocol is kind of the same, I will say. There's like some slight changes to protocol stuff, but Hasi and Vault are like completely different.
Oh, hello, chaps. All out the outdoors we go. Astral starts things off with a good kill. Snoopy finds 2. The third not going to be there. It's Gio into the feed.
I forgot. This water's done.
Himself alone by the plat.
Do you think the new control kind of nerfed LATs because they were so good and have to relearn? It basically nerfs any team that was good in control for sure. I mean, I thought we were pretty good at control too. We should have beat LA Thieves in my opinion. So we have to relearn it. But again, we have a month to do so. We have a month to relearn and perfect it.
Awakening and Cammy have them in a pinch.
I wonder if they still will commit though. You've got no intel whatsoever. Fight your way forward. What a win. Gio, that is magnificent. Cammy has still yet to play his
Who do you think is the best S&D team right now?
And surprise, surprise, he's got a jackal.
LAT or Miami? I think we're up there. Honestly, I think we had pretty decent like search event. I guess we played a lot of dealership, but we lost 1 round 11 of phase and 1 round 10 on dealership to LET. Are you guys on the new patch yet? Not on CDL accounts. We don't know when CDL accounts are being updated. We're kind of trying to get information on when it will be updated. Right now, scrims are just on the main accounts.
I know if I'm looking at things for Boston, Purge has been blooded 3 out of the 4 rounds.
When did he say they suck in S&D?
It's easier said than done, but we'll see the difference he can make. He isn't the first player to be taken care of there for Boston Breach. Big playmaker when it comes to search. He's sitting there at 0-4. On the other side, Kenny 0-2.
Yeah, and you got Nero driving a car this round, so he's going to be able to give you a
on the watch party at the major. Did he have some drinks in him or what?
Already having to pump the brakes, and they're looking to take it down. Wait. By nade or by bullets. You don't want to be near a car. At least the RC's out of the picture. That's also 30 seconds now burned from this round. Boston gonna have to, speed things up just a touch.
It really was a solo play. It really was a one-man army.
Damn, if the hosting team in the league are losing money at majors, then COD looking grim in the future. I mean, I think that's just like any esport ever. Whoever's hosting any type of event like that is losing money. That's sports in general. That's that's esports in general. Hosting events like that, it takes up a lot of resources. That's why we don't have a LAN league, because it would take a lot of resources. It's much easier for them to do it online. Yeah, like Prosser said, if you look at any other esport, that's just the reality of the situation for hosting events.
You got Purge and Awakening combined 2 and 10. All things considered, they might be happy they're only down a round.
Do you think Rewind being back was the best decision, or do you think they should have left it out of the rotation? I think them taking out in the first place after 2 weeks was fucking insane, personally.
3-2 now.
Like, look at this logic. We brought back in Rewind for Protocol. Does that not make any sense? Why did we not just get rid of Protocol in the first place? Why are we bringing a map that was supposed to be not competitive, not in series enough, whatever, taken out of the map set and bring it in for a map that was left in for it back in the beginning of the year? Does that not make any sense to anyone else? Like, to me, that's crazy. Like, I could see you adding, I could see you if you're saying Rewind wasn't a great map and you added, let's say, fucking whatever, what's one of the DLC, Barrage or whatever. Not actually adding it, but this would make a lot more sense than adding Rewind back in. So my opinion is, like, why did we take out Rewind in the first place? Obviously, it was just an on-the-fly decision where it shouldn't have been done 2 weeks with 2 weeks of data, in my opinion.
2 sprees, all that Rocket taken in this next round.
Yeah, and obviously mentioning Awakening at 1 and 5, but angle responsibility, a big topic of conversation in
The CS side of DreamCon was insane though. What's DreamCon? Oh, you mean DreamHack? CS and Outline for esports? Again, I guarantee you, it probably was a good event. They spent a lot of money to host it. I think it's just a thing for esports in general. You're losing money if you're hosting events like that, basically.
Perfect cook, perfect nade, gets the job done. No RC, no intel.
Slow round though, and now look at number 2 on the map.
If you ask like Adam Apicella, you ask any of the esports engine guys, it costs a fuck ton to produce some of these events.
They've been slowed down just because of the different presence that Boston has shown.
But you don't know. I don't know. Is Valve supporting it? Is that type of major? There's not one team that's hosting it and has to upfront the cost and stuff like that, right? Like DreamHack, I guess for COD, there wasn't either. But something like this Toronto major, I'm assuming Toronto's putting up or upfronting a lot of the cost to produce this event.
But doesn't have the timing just yet. 30 seconds on the round, and a double pinch rolling through. Minnesota Rocker.
Josh, you watched the Field of View doc on YouTube last night. That shit was insane. What was the Field of View doc? What is that? Is that a CS doc?
Now to flood through the bomb site, maybe get the plant down, but the time's ticking. Here comes Boston. They're looking for the counterattack. Oh, but the time is ticking. Boston cover themselves up. No one's gonna.
I'm honestly curious, why did they take out Proto? I knew you talked about it before, just don't know if it was more in depth. Again, all the map changes, chat, this year are league-based decisions. I assume because it was the least played map or something.
Boston run the clock down.
That's kind of usually the answer we get from the league when that shit happens.
Yeah, and this is one of the, like, this is the type of round.
But to me, it's just funny that they brought Rewind in for it after they took Rewind out before and kept Protocol in. So to me, it's like either they did it way too soon to take Rewind out, or they just made the wrong decision. What was the map you would have replaced? I just would not have replaced Rewind to begin with. I think Rewind was better than Protocol at the start of the year.
Keep them at bay. Find your way into the play on your terms. That is the name of the game right now. And Rocker.
Oh, 100% search too. The fact that Rewind search got taken out, but Skyline or Vault didn't, is fucking insane to me.
Yeah, notice how Purge is with him now. He's gotten blooded in these situations in ticket every single time.
I was more upset about the search one, because the search one makes no sense to me. The fact that Skyline or Vault stayed in and Rewind didn't is, in my opinion, actually criminal.
They're sending Geo on the deepest pinch you can. Other three players squared up.
Geo's timing wins out. It looks like Geo's timing a little bit better that way. Cammy's here as well. So the battle on the flank is still going down.
Even Proto, bro. Like, I mean, obviously Proto search has stayed in, but I thought Rewind was better than Proto, Skyline, and Vault, and it was taken out within 2 weeks. Remember when Vault was played literally 30 series in a row? I mean, that's before we had Hossie. But yeah, I mean, no one liked Proto, and Vault was just a more simple map and no one really wanted to play Proto. More simple map in terms of like, if you first off, this was before the Proto change as well, when it was much easier on defense to win. So if you just won the break off on defense, it was just chalk. But once they moved the cap to the P2, it made Proto a lot better. Like now Proto is like 50-50.
He mixes things up and he's there for the final kills.
Vault was terrible, but Dealership wasn't bad for search. Oh yeah, I don't think Dealership's that bad. I think Dealership's mid, but I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's anywhere worse than Skyline or Vault for sure.
They actually managed to get way past steps. So this time round, it looks like we might be able to get this bomb planted, get rid of Awakening, and yeah, that's it. That might be the turning point here in the moment in the round.
You know, huge first blood on the pinch though is going to be number 8 Snoopy. So an opportunity for Boston. The bomb gets planted, so at least Minnesota Rocker this time playing quick, and their bodies are here.
Whoa, okay, Nero. The dance is on, and Purge, if he throws...
Nero just made the play here, pushing out their side.
Nero, look at a catch.
Such a shame that the maps are this terrible. Had the potential to be one of the best CODs gameplay-wise. True. But hey, that's why you just need good maps for a good competitive game. We were just talking about the map set stuff. Like, people wonder why, you know, people love BO2 as a game because the map set was fucking incredible.
You want him to get aggressive. You unleash that man, he will take full advantage. Rocker fighting back.
Skyline was so bad for search. Yeah, I mean, I think Vault was the worst out of all of them. I think Skyline was also really bad, don't get me wrong. But those two not getting out for Rewind is insane to me.
Black Ops 6, mostly for intelligence, we've seen some shenanigans, a lot of team kills. But when it does work out, a thing of beauty. Here we go.
Who voted for Team of the Year? No idea.
B hits on the attacking round. Minnesota Rocker triple stack it up. Cam even makes noise that direction, but it's all a ruse. Little fake strat coming through, and now you get the bomb down in 20 seconds. They make it there. There'll be a pure 4 versus 4 for the retake. Minnesota Rocker grouping together for the hit.
No nades either. Oh, there's the nade. It's a little late. Snoopy right through the line of Rocker he goes. And look at the dance. You're drawing attention. You're drawing aggression. He's got a teammate to back him up.
Dude, Snoopy doing the same shit Nero just did. Push out their side, get a 2-piece straight up.
Banged up as well. He doesn't have the hit points here, but he's buying the time for his team.
24 seconds.
I was asking chat to, oh, you're asking chat. I thought you meant like, did you like who on our team voted for Team of the Year?
There's the team player. That's Awakening for the 2-piece. That's Boston Breach map point.
And this is what we're talking about, the evolution of Snoopy's game, and Purge right there for the follow-up. It is just the dance inside of those pillars, and it's just the information.
Give me 1 second, chat. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
One guy by back hedges, and he doesn't take the gunfight until he knows he has Kenny dead to rights with the Jackal. Perfectly played, and Purge does the same thing. You waste as much time as you possibly can. A 2v2 with 24 seconds left. it feels miserable to try to defuse that bomb.
A tough game of search and destroy for Rocket so far. Their attacking rounds have been a little bit better though. If they can get an aggressive plant, take that space as soon as possible. Don't let Boston work around you. Fortunate start there from Nero, but yeah, go for B aggressively now together as one.
I appreciate that they're doing something. Snoopy here, cheeky spot. We'll see how it pays off.
It might do, but here comes the fast reinforcement. There's the cavalry on its way. Snoopy down, but the cavalry, oh, it's made itself known. Kenny! 1 of 3! Can't get the ace. Kenny now fighting for his life in the search.
Nero gave you a bailout round. Kenny, it's your turn.
1v1. Kenneth Williams versus Purge.
And Purge again, last alive. Happy to play a little bit slower. Purge, second year in the CDL. Kenny, he's got 2 world championships.
Two brains working overtime. Try to solve this ever-changing Rubik's Cube. Kenny! Damn! What a win!
Dude, when he chows, he has some unbelievable snaps. And by the way, we mentioned how Nero had the ace bailout round. That made it look like an ace from Kenny as well. Only it's 6 and 6 right now, but hey, he got him to the round 11.
Is that 2 top plays of the week from the same map?
Yeah, possibly.
It possibly is. Wow.
And people forget, Kenny is an absolute shooter. Yeah, Kenny gives you 3, he loses the round, and looks and goes, boys, what are we doing? Round 11? Okay, lock in.
You can't ask for more. RC from at least Sutton, Nero, Estriel second. Estriel there pulls out his RC class. So
Feels like none of the maps were designed with competitive in mind, which is strange because you think that they'd pay some attention to it with the franchising shit. Unfortunately, that is not in their priority. Their priority is to make a game or maps that will be good for public players and casual players. Because that is a bigger fan base, or player base, I should say.
you've got one for Kenny as well, just in case.
I think the issue is more that Treyarch thought they were making good maps. I don't know. I think a lot of the players, or not the players, but I feel like a lot of the developers that made the good maps back in the day are not at Treyarch anymore. That's my conclusion to this whole thing. How did they not? How did they not get? How did they not get one there? Or can we get one? I think he got one actually. He went 1 for 1. JP, any idea why I get pissed at these player cards? What do you mean? Don't take a lot into account with the player card stuff. Player card things are just for fun for people to watch or to look at. No scrims today? No, we have scrims today. I have to leave here in like 10 minutes. Be like Warzone ruined COD MP maps? I agree. I agree. Dude, so much dealership this tournament.
Cammy alone. A 1v4. Put down, dealt with. Rocker strike first.
Yeah, I mean, that is just as good as it gets. Estriel for the credit on the 2 kills, but Nero has 2 assists in the round. Gio has 2 assists in the round. Kenny has a kill and an assist in the round. Everybody involved.
A literally perfect start there from Minnesota here. Cammy finds himself there. 1 kill and a Gio.
Probably, but it's not like the formula for good maps was all that complicated. They could make decent competitive maps if they really want to, I think. I don't know. I agree with what you're saying, but I also think it is hard to make a good map. And I think it should be kind of celebrated, and they should definitely look at it as like they hit a fucking gold mine if they made a good competitive map, because it just doesn't happen that often. Like something like Raid is so fucking good, and the fact that it can work in like any game mode is a testament to like the good structure of it. And I think it's sometimes just, I think it's just difficult sometimes, I guess. It's probably not an easy thing to do. Hey, JJ, appreciate the community gifted sub. Thank you, my guy. Appreciate it, JJ. Why are scrims like classified? Why do people not talk about them? To not give out info to other teams, to not create a narrative that might be set by the public. There are a couple of different reasons. Do you guys only scrim the 4 teams not on your champ side of the bracket? I said this before, but for a majority, we will only scrim those teams. But this week alone, we're adding Toronto, Carolina, and FaZe to the mix. Once we start Saturday, it'll only be those other 4 though. We figured since we have a full month, it's going to get very repetitive those 3 weeks where we're only playing 4 teams. So think about it this way, chat. Once Saturday hits, we have LAT, Vancouver, Miami, and Boston. So like, let's say we have LAT, Miami one day and Vancouver, Boston the other day. The next day, we go back to playing LAT, Miami. And then the day after that, we play Vancouver, Boston. It's going to get very... And you have to do this for 3 weeks straight. It's going to get very repetitive. So that's why for a full month, we were at least like throwing Toronto, Carolina, FaZe a little bit into the mix.
Let's just call out the patience to contain Breach there and not let anything happen. Breach overthinking the situation, and it cost them bad.
Well, Breach thinking about the situation perfectly, but then I don't think he actually saw Gio laying down in 10, so he was going for the aggressive bomb plant, and that was the wrong call.
The fact that you actually write words with a mouse is crazy. It's not a mouse, it's a pen. But I appreciate it. I have a pen and a little tablet thing that I draw on. That's what I usually draw on, like when I draw on the mini map and shit. I'm saying like, oh, they're gonna do double nades middle or some shit. Kenny's got an RC car. It's just a lot easier. Yeah, I don't think I could do it with a pen. Like, let's say this is, or sorry, with a mouse. This is a lot harder. Yeah, I hear you. Nah, if I wrote like that with a mouse, I might be God himself.
Unless it gets red, but at least you trade it out, and now Kenny again swinging through the flank.
Oh no, a big win, and we're gonna send Cammy ASAP to try to pick up the trade.
Minnesota wins this one pretty quickly, right? I want to say this was like a 6-1 map. This will be the last map, and then I'll have to head over to the office for scrims. Figure at least load up the stream for a little bit for you guys. Can you fix the mini map? Heard that. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I need a command or something for the mini map check. The fact that all of these don't line up equally makes me annoyed. I think it's specifically red card. Red card is the one that fucks everything up. Did I watch the Zuma around the bar? I listened to the podcast. Yeah, I listened to it at the gym the other day. Am I going back on later? When I get back home? Probably not. Usually I do my streams in the mornings. They went to 20 game 5s? No way. 20 game 5s is insane. Bro, how many matches did they play? Not 20, but it's a lot. Oh, you meant just like half? I saw 10 out of 20. I was like, holy shit, they went to 20 and lost 10?
They better hurry up. There we go. Breach. Stop the run. 3-1 here in the 5th.
Will COD ever stop doing new games yearly? I don't see a world where they don't. The fact that people keep paying for it every year, why wouldn't they? You see that clip of Stable Ronaldo joining Bruce's wager? No. What, he just joined his channel or some shit? Been wanting to ask, is that new merch or older? No, this is like, I think this came out a year or 2 ago. I think it was part of like one of the fall collections or something. I don't wear it that often. I don't usually wear brown, but I figured I'd wear it today. I don't know. Just was feeling it.
You dotted that again. Yeah, you're just costing. But this is distant. You have Nero completely out of the picture. He's got the entire pinch on lock, so his teammates are confident to look forward, but they could potentially be a man down.
Stun connects onto Awakening.
COD wouldn't make that much if the game was free. I think they would make a lot in terms of like microtransaction and stuff, but I don't know if it would get to the same level as what they do every year. Because COD Mobile does make a shit ton of money. I will say that. And COD Mobile is free and they just have microtransactions.
He's managed to cut through the middle.
Imagine playing MW2 for 2 years. Yeah. Honestly, the whole new game thing, I do think keeps everything pretty fresh. But I don't know how much different it would be if it was just like, okay, this year we play completely new maps and completely new weapons and stuff, but it's the same base game. If it's like the competitive COD, you know what I mean? I think it would still be fresh.
So much noise, and he just, I mean, he gets on the horse, he gets active straight through the middle of the map and picking up 2. Another round where Nero making the big play.
We haven't said it yet. We won't until the map is over. 4-1 from Rocket. Really decisive work in the middle of the map towards the B bomb side. The only time they've really
Oh, that's a good idea. I didn't think about that. What if they just made the game free, but they just made map packs for like $10 each, and they made the map pack like every 2 months or something? I wonder how much they would make. Obviously not the same amount, because I would feel like COD dies down definitely like around the January, February mark. But I'd be interested to see if they just consistently updated the game, how much they would make with those microtransactions and map packs and like skins and shit. COD comp title that is subscription based, $70 a year with its own dev team. I don't think they'd ever do that. It's just so many resources for them to make it, I think, and support it for a player base that they probably don't think is enough of like a player base for them to care about like that. But we could always dream. They used to do it back in the day. Oh yeah, all the old games had the map packs, but you also paid at the beginning too. So that's what I was saying. You still paid the $60 and you would pay the map packs each. But yeah, I don't think the DLC map pack things would work. It would have to be only microtransaction stuff that are just like cosmetics. Alright, this is the last round. I'm gonna have to go after this one. Like the resources that go into developing a new game each year, surely eventually they'd make more money, or make more if they just stuck to one game and kept making money off of microtransactions and maps. That's a risk that, I don't know, are they willing to take? Because they know this model works, because they consistently have good game sales. So would they be willing to completely shift their business model? You know, it's very hard to convince stockholders and stuff to completely change your business model like that if it's already working, you know? That's the just downside to it, obviously. All right, chat, that's going to do it for me. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of your day. I got to head over to the office for scrim stuff. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, though. Thanks for following, subbing, and I'll see you guys